Okay guys, welcome back to part 2. What I'm going to be discussing in this video is the use of layers. Layers will become one of your best friends in design. We use them so that we can easily edit a Photoshop document at a later date. So as you can see here, I have several layers that if I were to make invisible, it would change how the document looks depending on what is on each layer. This is useful as a learning tool. For example, if I were to download a Photoshop document file that someone has allowed me to download, I could then see by the use of layers what he's done at what particular moment and how he's ordered and structured it. It also makes it easy to go back and edit things. For example, if a client for a website wanted a different font for his title or anything different colour scheme, it would be quite easy to change because it's all here in the layers rather than going into the actual files and changing it all manually, which would be very difficult to do, and you probably have to go and redo it all completely. And it's good also to keep track of what is on each layer and rename everything. For example, if I were to create a new layer here, we create a new layer by the way by your shortcut key. I've got Command Shift and N. It has name here. The default name is just layer, and then whatever particular layer you have. And you can just rename that to whatever you're going to be doing on that particular layer. So I've got on the right hand side here lighting effects, what each font is, gradient, background. It's good just to keep things like that. So if I were going to write anything particular on that, I would use what I'm doing. So if I were to use more lighting effects, I'd make sure it's known as lighting effects. I'll go ahead and cancel that because I don't need to create a new layer or anything. And it's also a good idea to keep everything grouped. So as you can see here, I've got a group, and these groups, if I were to unhide that, would unhide everything within the group. It just gives us greater control over what we do at what particular moment. To create a group, all we really need to do here is my shortcut is Command and G, and that would create the group like so. So that groups it there, and then I were to group it there, and then unhide, and again that unhides everything. And then again you could rename that just in the same way. Double click it, and you could rename that to whatever you like, to whatever is in the group, and then it just keeps everything a bit more structured, a bit more neat. Now, a major attraction to using layers is the ability to change a single layer's attributes so easily. For example, up here we have something called layer styles, and these layer styles I can change. So if I would change the soft light here, it would change how it looks, and change what it does. And you can change the opacity. And then you can also go into even greater detail here and bring up this layer style sheet. And now this layer style sheet, if I do it on this particular layer here, it gives us greater control of how everything looks. So does everything have a border? Does it even have a drop shadow? And you can see here, just on this text at the back, it gives us a little bit more control over how everything appears on the canvas. And then we can even go and say is the actual thing on the layer translucent, so we can change the opacity and make it lower like that, and that's a very good use for blending tools and things like that. So that's a very, very brief overview of layers, and I'll continue to touch on them throughout these videos as I go through and make sure that you are using layers correctly. But really, this video I want to use to ask you guys what you want to see in future videos. If you've got any tutorials that you want to see, anything you struggle with in Photoshop, leave a comment below, and I'll make sure I get a video recorded on that, just to help you guys out, because at the end of the day these videos are for you. And I also want to take this moment to say I do have a Twitter account, so if you'd like to follow me on there and have updates on when the videos are posted and everything like that, the link will be in the description. I also have a DeviantArt where all my work is posted, all my digital work will be posted, and also that link will be in the description. So that's everything, guys. Thank you for watching this very, very short episode, and I will see you again.